Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
Use some blocks, feel free. And band or strap if you like. Is anyone new today? I don't think so.
I am.
Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, you were here last week, weren't you?
No, not for the yoga chair. It was.
Last week you were here for the other class.
Yes.
Well, great to have you.
Okay.
So this is a very self-paced class, so you just go at your own speed. The slower you move, the more beneficial each movement is. You may want to hold some movements and you may want to keep some movements flowing, depending on how your body feels. You don't necessarily need equipment, but if you would like to use equipment, you're welcome to use something like a strap or towel or blocks. And you can put your sit bones on a block or pillow if you have them. If not, that's okay too. And I like to put my tippy toes on the block. This helps.
Is this a yoga class?
This is yoga, yes.
Oh, okay.
So this is a chair yoga class. So we're going to start with some deep breaths. You just want to let yourself be comfortable and allow your palms to relax. And allow your head and neck to relax, your tongue and your jaw. You can have your palms facing down, or you can have your palms facing up, whatever feels better for you. And we're just going to take this time to allow the shoulders to relax, to allow the neck to relax, and allow the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth. And when the tongue touches the roof of the mouth, we get a nice relaxation and decompression through our jaw. And as we take long, slow, deep breaths, we just let every muscle in the body relax and decompress. So the only rule today is to do what feels comfortable for you and your body. And that's going to be different for everybody. So I'm going to start with a few deep inhales, feeling my lower abdomen, mid-chest, and upper chest rise as I inhale. My collarbones open and expand and widen. As I exhale, I feel my collarbones and ribs draw together, my mid-chest and my lower abdomen. I'm going to start by bringing the sensation of decompression in through my upper back. Particularly, I'm going to start with my neck and then go to the space between my shoulder blades. So as I exhale, I'm going to allow my chin to move to my chest. Try to keep my shoulders back and down. And then inhale my chin away from the chest. And this is just releasing the neck muscle here. Exhaling and inhaling. And as I exhale, I see how close I can bring my chin and throat to the center of my sternum. And if it feels good, every time I inhale, I can look up to the sky with my eye gaze. As I exhale, I can start to look down. Just a few deep breaths here. As I exhale, I'm going to pull my belly button into the base of my spine and push the stale air out of my body. Now that I've done this, I'm going to start to work into my upper spine. So I'm going to round my shoulder blades across my back as I exhale. And as I inhale, I'm going to bring my shoulders back and down. Exhale, round my shoulder blades across my back. Inhale, shoulders back and down. If it feels good, we can bring the chin to the chest as we round the shoulder blades. And then the chin away from the chest. And we can keep cycling through this movement as we exhale and inhale. if I want to go a little further, I can let my head and chest fall. Just going to do about 2 more repetitions here. I'm going to pull my belly button into my lower back as I exhale. And then I'm going to relax. From here, I'm going to exhale my left ear to my left shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale my right ear to my right shoulder. Inhale back to the center. And I'm just going to carry through this motion. So I'm going to exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. I'm just going to do a couple more repetitions. Releasing my neck musculature. Just allow the whole body to relax. And then I'm going to come back to center. Now I'm going to do a few circles with my neck, only as far back as feels available to me. Slow and steady and slow. First going to go in one direction. And then I'm going to go in the other direction. I'm going to come back to the center. I'm going to turn and look to my right, behind my right shoulder blade, back to the center, and then to the left, and then back to the center. I'm just going to keep that movement happening. And breathe. One more each direction. Exhale. Inhale. And then relax. Now I'm going to start to loosen my body. I'm going to take my right hand, reach it out to the right. Exhale, right fingertips to left knee. Keep the spine extended. And then keep moving. I can look to my right thumb as I open my chest and reach towards the inside of my ankle bone as I exhale. Keeping my heels pressed into the ground. And the movement could be much smaller or bigger, relaxing my neck and jaw. If it feels good, I can start to reach a little bit further behind, looking to that right thumb. And then exhale, I may want to go a little bit deeper as I hinge. Some of you may want to touch your big toe. If you're feeling tightness in your hips, you can bring your feet a little wider apart here. Loosen up those hips. Create some space and expansion into the pelvis. Again, the slower we move, the more beneficial this is for us. The faster we move, the less beneficial. Keeping the spine extended as we go through that functional hip hinge, hips back, chest forward. Shoulders away from the ears. Now, some of you may want to reach your hand over your head, and that's okay too. If you want a little bit of a deeper opening through the chest, through the minor muscles of the chest, the pec minor. And if you're very advanced, some of you may want to take your right hand outside of your left baby toe. So you're getting a little bit of a crisscross to the opposite side of the torso. Just feel the heels grounded. And if you find your lower back is rounding, we want to go not so deep. So we only go as deep as we can with a straight spine. We want to avoid any sort of rounding of the lower, mid, or upper back. We're going to do one more. And then if it feels good to me, I'm going to hold it back. And you may want to take your left hand and press your left knee back a little bit, creating space. And if your arm is tired, you can rest your hand on your chair or your thigh. And breathe. If I want more, I'm going to go a little bit more into that twist. This is what we call a closed twist, where the abdomen is moving towards the right inner thigh, spiraling inwards. And then we're going to come back to the center. Just going to shake out my fingers. They need to be shaken out. Just relax. Now we're going to do the other side. So I can start very gently to the left and then back to the center, keeping the back flat. This may be as far as I want to go today. That's okay. If you want to go further, we can. Hinging at the hip, keeping the lower spine extended, tucking the chin, and then reaching back if it feels good. I can just press that right heel of the hand in front of my right thigh. Belly button pulls in tight, pushing the staler out of the body. So you inhale. Exhale. Keeping the back nice and flat. And if it feels good to me, I can take the left fingertips outside of the right baby toe. Tuck the chin. Eyes looking to the earth. Big breaths. We're just going to do as far as feels good for you and your body. If there's any sort of pain or shaking of the muscle, you've gone too far. Slow, steady, purposeful movements. Deep inhale and deep exhales. Do what feels good for you. Wonderful. I'm going to do one more. Some of you may want to reach to the outside of the baby toe here. And we're going to hold it back. If your hand is tired, you can put it on the chin or your thumb. If you want more, you can use the right fingers to roll the right knee back, creating space for the hip and your thigh. If you want more, we just twist a little further back into that exhaled position. One more, you can bring the hand a little higher as long as the shoulders not feeling stressed or the neck. And then we come back to the center. Well, from here, I'm just going to do a gentle rounding of my spine. I may just bring my chin to my chest. I may roll my shoulders forward. I may want to go a little further. Some of you may want to look to the space between the inner thighs. Exhale. And then slowly inhale up. Some of you may want to stay here today. This is as far as you need to go if this feels good. If you want to go a little further, you of course have permission. You want to put your fingertips on the shin or the floor or the blocks. As you inhale up, you want to put your hands on your thighs or your chest or by your ears. You want to lean back, look into those fingertips, and exhale. Just letting your lower back melt, your abdomen contract. Your neck will release. And some of you may decide to slide the fingertips between the legs of the chair. Just doing what feels good for you. There's no right or wrong today. There's just what's right for you. I'm going to do one more nice and smooth repetition. Nice and relaxed. I may want to hold it down for a little bit, or I may want to come out if I'm feeling dizzy. If you're feeling any sort of vertigo or dizziness or lightheadedness, it's best to come up. When we're ready, we slowly rise. So I'm just gonna slide my feet back to the middle, give my lower back a little bit of a rest here. I'm gonna take my right hand to the left side and I'm gonna place my left wrist on my right wrist. I'm gonna reach my right fingertips to the left. Then I'm gonna exhale, hinge forward a little bit, and then inhale back. And this may be as far as you want to go today. If you want to go a little further, you may want to bring your head and chest further forward, resting your left elbow on your right thigh, on your left thigh. Some of you may want to start to look behind the chair, to the left side. Breathe. Some of you may want to start to reach the right fingertips further to the left. And then rise. And again, there's no right or wrong today. There's just what feels good for you. Listen to your own body and its natural expression. Just going to do a couple more. And if it feels good, I may want to hold at the bottom position here a little bit. And then slowly recenter. And before I do the other side, I'm just going to take a moment to open up that right shoulder. So I'm going to roll it up, back, and down. Gentle waves. Feels good. I can have the palm face forward. So breathe. Deep breaths. Some of you may want to allow the hand to come a little higher. Some of you may want to make big circles. Or over the head for some of you. You notice I'm keeping my left fingertips on my right shoulder to keep my right shoulder from lifting up to my head and neck. Deep breaths. Facilitating expansive opening, softening at that right elbow joint. Good. Wonderful. If it feels good, I'm going to hold it back. You may want to stay here, or you may want to invite a bend into the elbow. A bend will stretch the big muscles of the chest. A straight elbow will stretch the minor muscles of the chest. I can gently roll my chest away from my armpit and slide my elbow back away from my chest. Just keep that right elbow at 90 degrees. And then relax. Now before I continue, I'm going to take 3 deep inhales and exhales. With or without the arms. I can look forward or up. And exhale. Breathe. Breathe into the space of the chest and rib. Expand the body. One more deep breath. I'm going to come back to the center and do my left side. Left hand comes to the right. Hold on that wrist. They come forward a little bit. So keeping my wrist to my wrist. If it feels good, I can go a little further. Protecting my neck and jaw. Some of you may want to reach all the way through. And breathe. Now, if anyone's having any sort of strain on your spine, sometimes it feels gentler if you're standing to do this movement. So some of you might find it gentler in a standing position. Some of you may just want to keep it very tiny movements today. That's okay too. Do one more. And if I can hold it for a little bit. If it doesn't feel good to hold it, we can come back up. And then we slowly come back to the center. From here, left palm facing forward, gentle rolls of the shoulder. We can make this very gentle. Or we may want to make it a little bigger. Some of you may want to hold on to the chest musculature as we breathe, feeling that decompression here. Some of you may want to look the way it's rolling. Again, I put my fingers on my shoulder to keep my shoulder from lifting up to my neck. So I like to place the heel of my right hand on my left pectoral muscle. It feels good. We can go a little bit bigger with it. Relaxing the neck and jaw. Opening up through the front side body. It feels good. We can hold it back. Standing at the elbow. Looking to that left thumb. Or some of you may want to bend the elbow to open up into the big muscles of the chest, the pec major. And when you're ready, relax. Breathe. So now I'm going to put my feet on the blocks, but you don't have to. It's just an option. And if you do have a block or a book, you may want to put it on the left side of your body. If you don't have a block or a book, that's okay too. We can put our hand either on our thigh, on our chair, or our block. Lean to the left. And inhale back to the center. Try to keep the shoulder blades pressed into the back of the chair. Just keep our eyes looking straight ahead. And some of you may prefer to do this standing. That's okay too. Whatever works for you and your body. Rolling that right shoulder back. Keeping those knees slightly bent here. Pressing down. Inhaling up. Opening the hips. Some of you may want to take your right hand and line with your armpit or your earlobe, or reach it across to the left side. If you're standing, you may need 2 blocks. If you like, if it feels good, we can hold it. And look towards the right armpit, softening the knees, rolling the right shoulder back, tucking the tail under, pressing the hips forward. And relax the tongue, the neck, the jaw. And breathe. And I'm just going to go a little lower here because my back is starting to loosen up. Center. And before we do the other side, I'm just going to take a moment. We went into a side bend. So now we're going to do some back bends and bends. Keeping my back straight. Chest forward and chest backward. If it feels good as we come backward, tuck the tail, lift the pelvis. We can look to the sky. And if you're seated or standing, we can have the same sort of movement. Some of you may want to reach your hands in front and then press your hands behind. Notice I tuck my tail under, I lean back. Deep breaths. If you notice, I'm bending my knees if I'm standing because I want to protect my joints. So I keep a slight knee bend to protect my back and my hip, my knees, my ankles. One more. And then I'm going to either sit or stand as I prepare to do the other side. So I'm going to take my blocks to the other side if I'm standing or sitting. And I can press down and up, keeping my knees soft. This time to the right. Feels good. I can go a little further with that. Rolling that left shoulder back, rolling that left hip back. Some of you may want to bring your fingertips to your earlobe. Some of you may want to reach to the left armpit. And this is the exact same movement if you're standing or sitting. Notice I'm pushing my left hip backward. This creates space for my inner thigh and pelvic floor to express. So now I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm warmed up a little bit more. So I'm just bringing that top block a little lower. If it feels good, I'm going to hold the next one. And just breathe into the space in my ribs, my chest cavity, my lungs. And I'm slowly coming up. Let's get to that same sequence again, but this time I'm going to do the reverse. So as I come forward, I'm going to press my right hand back, hold on to my wrist, push it back, and then I'm going to come up and and lean back. Then I'm going to put my left hand back, press it back, elbows in, and then up and lean back. Now if I'm doing the seat, it would look like this. I can take my right hand back, and then I can take my hands up, and I can take my left hand back. And you can just press it back like that. Or some of you may be able to hold it. One or two hands can come up. And of course, I would do the other side. Pressing the heel of the hand back, hinging at the hip. Just going to the place that feels good for you. Keeping my knees slightly bent. On the neck, relaxed. Good. When ready, I'm going to do some hip circles. So I can do this either seated or standing. Just going to gently circle my hips. So you could be doing this seated or standing. The other direction. Loosen up any tightness there. Now our spine's a little bit looser. We can move into our limbs. So you may want to hold on to your band and wrap it around your left foot, like so. Or some of you may want to hold on to your pant leg and just gently rock the ankle side to side. Now, if it feels good, you may be able to hold a little higher or a little higher. And some of you will prefer to use the band to hold it up and gently rock. Now, I like to curl my toe to the front of my shin. This stretches the back shin and opens up my buttocks muscle, my glute max. Relax my neck and shoulder and jaw. And move through those gentle circles here. If it feels good, we can open the leg. Close the leg. Kind of like a door that's opening and closing. Like your elevator door, sliding close. Very controlled. Sliding open. If you want to make it bigger, you can bring it across. And then open it up and out. Deep breaths. Just going to do a couple more repetitions here. And if I can, I'm going to hold it out. Maybe here, maybe here, maybe up here. Enjoy that expansion. Listen to your body. Respect your body. Where your body is right now. And I'll do the reverse. I can hold it across towards that opposite earlobe. Maybe down here, maybe here. Wherever feels good. And then I can gently bring that knee down. Just open and close it. Open up that inner hip. Exhale, inhale. And extend that knee. Hold it here, 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 here. I may want to stay here and just feel the stretch. I may want to come forward with my chest and then back with my chest. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Exhale. And then relax that belly. Feel free to give it a little bit of a shake. Let's do the other side. We can do very gentle. Exhale, inhale. Some of you may want to go a little higher. And again, if you don't have the band, that's okay. You can hold her on your thigh. You can hold on your sock. You may want to hold on your shin. Whatever feels good. The band just makes it easier to grip the leg and limb sometimes. And you may notice one side is a lot looser, or perhaps a lot tighter than the other side, and that's very normal. Deep breaths. And then from here, we can hold it out. Could be here or here or here. And some of you, I like to put my foot on a post like this. Or even the back post here. Good. So you can use a wall or a tool if you like, or you can just hold it in the air. We'll take it across the other way. Feels good. Relax the neck and jaw. We want to make sure we're not holding tightly. So you want a nice loose grip. Just holding the whole enough to keep it from sliding. If we tighten up our grip, we'll bring tension to our neck and shoulder girdle. And then we can extend that knee. You may want to keep it on the ground or lift it in the air. We can come forward and back, forward and back. Breathe. Just as far as feels good for you. And whenever you've had enough, we can hold it. Relax out of that position. You're going to take that leg and open and close the door. Like the hinge of a door. It opens, it closes. It opens, it closes. Just relax the neck, shoulders, jaw, pelvis, and relax completely. So now we're going to work into the front of our thighs. So if your ankle's okay, you can take your left leg out to the side, lift your heel off the ground. So I'm just going to turn the chair so you can see. My heel is lifted off the ground. And I'm just sliding my knee back and pushing this hip forward. So I'm just taking this right hip, pushing it forward, and tucking my tail, feeling a stretch here through the front of my muscle belly. Some of you may want to bend your knee a little bit. And some of you may be able to hold on to your foot like this. And you may want to lean back a little bit as you push your hip forward. If anyone prefers standing, that's always an option. You can hold on to something. Bring the heel to the buttocks and press the hip forward. Notice I keep my knees pressed together, and some of you may want to lean forward, allow the knees to come apart. And this is Anajanansana, or dancer's pose. Bending that right elbow. Of course, if this is not comfortable, please don't do it. Sometimes place 2 hands on the foot. Get a little bit of a deeper opening. I tuck my tail under and I squeeze my buttocks. And when it feels good, I can release that limb. And give that leg a shake out. Take 3 deep breaths. Exhale. As far as feels good. I'm going to round my back this time instead of keeping it flat. Releasing my spine. And then slowly kneeling up. Wonderful. Whatever feels good for you. One more time. Yeah. If you're seated, you can take that left foot that time. Keep the heel up, slide the toe back, push the left hip forward. Some of you may want to lean back a little bit, feel the stretch through the front of the thigh, or just keep your chest forward if you have any back pain. And of course, some of you may be able to clasp onto that foot and slide it towards the gluteal, feeling the opening here. Some of you may want to come up, or some of you may want to go all the way into cancers. As you breathe, deep breath, squaring the hips and pelvis to the earth. And when you're ready, you can relax and just give the body a shake out. And now we're going to work into our inner thighs. So I'm just going to take my feet pretty wide. Place my hand on my thigh. Tuck my tail under. Lean back with my chest. And then come back to the center. Now as I lean back, I'm going to press my knees behind me. Good. Press. Recenter. Now some of you may want to come all the way forward. Round the heels. And then press the knees back. Exhale. Inhale. And if you start to feel some heat on the outside of the buttocks, that's good. That's the glute medius starting to activate, allowing for decompression, expansion of the hip and groin and pelvic floor. Just letting everything soften, dissolve into a wave of decompression. And some of you are just going to come forward a little bit. That's okay too. Just keep pressing those hips forward. If you feel like you want a little bit more, you can bring your feet wider apart. A little bit more of an opening. Those hips are a little bit looser from the sequences we did earlier. We did the seated version of swan pose from yoga. So we take all of the traditional yoga postures and we modify them for the chair. Just gonna do a couple more repetitions. So if you wanted to do this in yoga, standing, you could come up here. You could go into a hinge, and then perhaps a sunflower, a hinge, and a sunflower, which can be quite challenging for the balance. So most of us prefer to sit. You may want to add those arms at this point. Feeling the loosening of the hips and pelvis. And we're going to do one more. Nice and smooth. Deep breaths. And then I'm going to hold here. I'm going to lean to the left. If I like, I can reach that right hand up. If anyone wants to do the standing version, it can be quite challenging for the balance, but you take your left heel in line with your right instep. You straighten your left knee, and then you go into Trikonasana. And this is the standing yoga version. The seated version, you keep my knees bent, you come here, or some of you may want to bring your elbow here. Some of you may want to stay here, or here, or here. Whatever feels good for you. And some of you may want to interlace your fingers like so. Opening up the chest. More relaxed. All right. Let's do the other side. So you may want to be here, or here, or here. If you want to do the standing version, we'd have that right heel in line with the left instep. Roll the left hip back. And breathe. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. Really a nice decompression through the lower back and heat through this outer glute and opening that chest cavity. From here, we're going to center ourselves. Wonderful. Now we've created opening here. We do the opposite. So I'm going to take my left ankle over my right. Try to have my toes press into the floor and come forward here, or here, or here. If anyone wants to do the standing version, we can take our left foot over our right, and then round down. And feel the gluteal decompress. All 10 toes pressed into the earth. Shoulders, neck, jaw relaxed. And then if you're standing, you can try straightening the knees just a little bit. Stretching the outer hamstring and IT band. And when we're ready, you can slowly change legs. So if you're seated, you just come up. You want to cross the feet, cross the other ankle over. If you're standing, we cross the other foot over. 10 toes down. We can round and relax into you. Relax the neck, tongue, and jaw. And just hang out here for a while. Allowing gravity to open up the body, to allow it to decompress, to expand, to release, to open. If we're in the standing version, some of you may want to try bringing your hands up a little higher and then straightening the knee a little bit. Stretch out that back thigh muscle. And when you're ready, we come back up to center. Wonderful. So standing or seated. Take a few deep breaths. I'm going to see if I can take my left ankle either into the air like this and press my toe on the ground. This is level 1. Level 2, I may place it on my shin and hold it there. Level 3, I may place it on the chair. And then I can either lean here, I may want to hold on the bottom here. Now, if you have a bony ankle like me, sometimes you want to take a towel or a block or tissue or something soft and put your ankle on it. And then we can come forward and back. Now, some of you may decide you want to take that ankle onto your thigh. And this is our half lotus. Wow, half extended lotus. For it to be the true half lotus, you would have this right foot under the left knee. But that may not feel quite safe in the chair. So it's better to stay in this position in the chair. Now, if it feels good, you can start to slide that foot a little further across. And see if you can stack those knees kind of on top of each other. Not quite, but as close as you can get to this knee being on top of this knee. Couple more breaths. And if it feels good, we can hold it down for a little bit. Now, some of you may want to stay here, some of you may want to stay here, and some of you may want to gently rock your head and chest side to side. And this is going to massage your gluteal and your lower back. And when you feel ready, we can give that leg a nice shake out. Now, if there's any little snapping or cracking or pops, don't be alarmed. Just the muscle decompressing, releasing stored gas as nitrous oxide. Now, some of you may want to put your foot like this. Some of you may want to put your foot like this. Some of you may place it on the chair. Some of you may place it on the thigh. So the wonderful thing about a yoga practice is there's no right or wrong answer. Every solution is correct. The only way you can do something incorrectly is if you feel pain in your body or strain in your breath. As long as your breath is slow and smoothing and your body feels the decompression without pain. So it's okay to feel some slight tension. It may be slightly uncomfortable and tense, but if you're feeling pain, we know we've gone too far. So yoga is the only test you can do in your life where you will automatically pass as long as you love yourself and are gentle with your body. There's no judgment in any style of yoga. Now, some people bring judgment into it, but that's not yoga itself. That's the person bringing their own ego, what they call the ego self, into the practice or sadhana. So we want to dissolve our ego self from our movements, which can be quite challenging. And In some ways, that's the hardest test of all in life, is stepping away from the ego and accepting the present. So if anyone wants to go a little further, they can slide in. And on this side, my knee comes a little bit closer to my other knee. And that's okay. So I know my other side's a little bit tighter than this side. So that's another wonderful thing about yoga. So as I do this side, I don't try to force my knee into a position. I just allow it to be a little further away, because that's okay. So it gives us a million opportunities to practice self-acceptance, self-love, and non-judgment. Now, when we feel a little bit looser, we may want to hold it there, or we may decide we want to keep moving. You may want to be still. We may want to gently rock the head side to side like a windshield wiper. And this also gives us a massage of our digestive tissues, organs, and glands. And it feels good to just loosen everything up. And when you're ready, we can slowly rise. Give those legs a little bit of a shake if we like. We're going to finish our practice with a seated or standing meditation. So if you're seated, we're just going to close the eyes and watch the breath rise and fall. If we decide to stand, we keep our eyes open because we're going to gently step all across the floor. So I'm going to lift my leg, heel, ball, toe, toe, ball, heel, and watch one foot lifting as the other foot falls. And I'm watching the rise and the fall of all parts of my feet. That's if I'm doing the standing meditation. And if I'm doing the seated meditation, all I'm doing is watching my breath, watching my abdomen rise, and watching my abdomen fall. And I can do a little bit of both, or I can just do all seated, or I can just do all standing. I can have my eyes closed if I'm seated, or perhaps open. Whatever feels good to you. Noticing any changes to our breath. Perhaps our breath is slower, perhaps it's a little bit smoother now, perhaps it's the same. Just acknowledging any differences, acknowledging any changes. Just allow yourself to relax. When it feels good, we can very slowly open our eyes if they're closed. If we're walking, we can slowly bring ourselves to the chair, or we may want to stay standing. Whatever feels good for your last 3 breaths. We seal our practice with 3 divine inhales and exhales. Inhale in and exhale. And we may want to keep our hands still, or we can move our arms up and down. Namaste, everybody. So that's our practice today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, everybody. Great to have you.
Thank
Feels
you.
good.
Jeff, where are the cats today?
They're probably sleeping. They're probably in on the bed. Right now, they're looking for their lunch. They're like, where's my lunch? Where's my lunch?
Yeah, I heard one of them meowing.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye-bye.
Bye. Nice to have you.
Bye.
Where there was no clock today, Nora. What happened? I didn't hear your clock today, Nora.
Pardon?
I didn't hear your clock, your grandfather clock.
Well, I did something. I think I overwound it, and so it's not chiming anymore.
Oh, that's why. I was like, it does. I
That's
usually
right,
hear it
I
every
hear.
class, so I was wondering.
Yeah. I can't, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, Jeff. I have a dentist appointment at 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So we'll see you next week then.
Okay, thanks so much.
I would say enjoy the dentist, but I know it's not fun.
Well, it could be. They're very nice there.
The class at 10:30, or no, 10:30, is it for an hour?
Yeah, that's an hour class now.
Okay, because I know my mom has an appointment, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it, but
That's okay. You can stay for 30 minutes, or if you want to come for 30 minutes, if you want to come late, that's okay too.
yeah, if anything, it'd probably be late. Hopefully I can get back because it's at 10:30. It's just down the street.
No problem. So if you can't get on till 11 o'clock or whatever, you're still welcome to join.
All right, and what do you have, oh, that's Robin. Oh, no, there's a class at 12:30 with Robin. Okay.
Yeah, and then Robin's at 12:30.
Yeah, I think
You
hers,
can also join Robin's if you want.
yeah, I don't know if that's one's a hard one though, isn't it?
Just a little bit gentler. She does abs and strength work.
Okay, but it's not on the floor, right?
No, it's not on the floor. It's on the chair or standing.
Maybe I'll try and get that one. So I hate to miss a day, right? So,
Okay, do you want me to sign you up for that one?
yes, I'll try and do that one.
Okay, I'll sign you up for that one tomorrow. Robin will be happy because just the more the merrier.
Yes, that's right. All right, have a good day. I'll see you then probably Thursday.
All right, we'll see you Thursday. Be well, be safe.
You too. Okay.
Bye.